Welcome to my channel. Have you ever looked at a baby and thought, how on earth are they learning so fast? They can't even talk, but somehow they figure out how to understand a whole new world. They learn to walk, talk, eat, and even understand people without going to school. That's pretty amazing, right? But here's the real question. How do they do it? What if I told you that babies have a few simple tricks that help them learn faster, and you can use those same tricks to learn English too? Yes, even if you're just starting. Even if you think learning English is hard. Babies don't use grammar books or long vocabulary lists. They just explore, repeat, try again, and enjoy the process. And you can do the same. So in this video, we're going to explore what babies do when they learn, and how you can borrow their habits to learn English faster and better. This is not about learning like a student. This is about learning like a baby, curious, fearless, and always growing. Stick with me until the end, because what babies do naturally might just be your secret weapon in learning anything quickly, especially a new language like English. Let's explore how to borrow the baby brain. Chapter 1. The baby brain is always learning. Why curiosity changes everything. Let's start with something amazing. Did you know that babies start learning even before they are born? Yes, that's true. Inside the mother's womb, a baby can already hear sounds and voices. And after birth, they keep learning every minute, every hour, every day. They don't go to school. They don't study from books. They just look, listen, touch, and explore. Their brain is always working, always learning, always growing. But what's the secret? Why do babies learn so quickly and naturally, while adults often feel stuck when learning something like English? The answer is one powerful word: curiosity. Babies are curious about everything. They don't just hear a sound and move on. They stop. They turn their head. They listen again. They want to understand, even if they don't know the meaning yet. Their brain is like a sponge, soaking up everything around them. Now think about this. When a baby hears the word dog for the first time, they don't know what it means, but they keep hearing it. Look at the dog. Where's the dog? The dog is barking. Slowly, their brain connects the word to the sound, the image, and the movement. They don't need a definition. They learn through experience and through curiosity. They want to understand, and their brain helps them do that, step by step. As adults, we often lose this natural curiosity. We start thinking learning should be serious, or that we need to understand everything perfectly before we try. But that's not how babies learn. And maybe it's not the best way for us either. Let me give you a powerful example. Imagine this. A baby hears a new sound. Maybe someone claps their hands. The baby jumps a little, then laughs. They look around, wide-eyed. They try to clap too. They are curious. Now imagine an adult in the same situation. They might say, "Oh, someone clapped," and go back to their phone. The moment passes. No learning happens. The baby, on the other hand, just practiced listening, reacting, watching, and even copying. That small moment became a learning moment because of curiosity. So how does this help you learn English? Simple. When you hear a new word or sound in English, don't just ignore it. Be like a baby. Stop for a moment. Listen again. Ask yourself, what does that mean? Where have I heard it before? How is it used? You don't need to understand it perfectly. You just need to be curious. That's how the baby brain works. And that's how your brain can start learning faster, too. Another fun thing about babies is that they never get bored of the same word or sound. They can hear hello 20 times a day, and each time it's exciting. That's because they are always paying attention. They are not trying to sound smart. They are just trying to understand. You can do this too. If you hear someone say, "How are you?" again and again, don't tune out. Listen closely. Notice the sound. Try saying it yourself. Think about the answer. Be curious about the small things. Curiosity also helps you notice more. Babies notice tiny details, your facial expression, your tone of voice, your gestures. That helps them learn faster because they are watching closely. When you learn English, try doing the same. Watch how native speakers move their mouths. Listen to their rhythm. Pay attention to the emotion in their words. These small things make a big difference, and you only notice them when you are truly curious. So here's the big idea of this chapter. Talent is not the key to learning. Curiosity is. Babies are not born with special skills. They are just always learning because they are always curious. And if you want to learn English or anything, the baby brain is the perfect example to follow. You don't need to study for hours. You don't need to memorize everything. You just need to be open, interested, and curious. Ask questions. Try things. Make small discoveries. Be amazed by small words, small sounds, small ideas. That's how babies learn. And that's how you can learn too. So, are you ready to see English like a baby does? Great, because in the next chapter, we're going to talk about something babies do all the time that most adults are afraid of. And this one habit might be the most powerful learning tool you'll ever use. Chapter 2. No fear of mistakes. How babies learn by failing. Let's think about something we've all seen before, a baby learning to walk. At first, they can't even stand. Then they try to pull themselves up. They wobble. They fall. Then they try again, and again, and again. Sometimes they fall on their back. Sometimes they fall forward. They cry. But they never give up. In fact, they smile, they laugh, and they keep trying until one day they take their first step. It's beautiful. But what's more amazing is this. They fail hundreds of times before they succeed, and they're never embarrassed. Now imagine if a baby had the same mindset many adults have when learning English. After the first fall, they might say, "I'm not good at this," or "People are watching me," or "What if I fall again?" But babies don't think like that. They don't care who is watching. They don't worry about what people think. They're not afraid to fail. That's why they learn so fast. So here's the big question. Why are adults so afraid of making mistakes, especially when speaking English? For many people, it starts in school. Maybe you raised your hand once and gave the wrong answer. Maybe someone laughed. Maybe the teacher corrected you in a way that made you feel small, and over time, you started to think mistakes are bad. But that's not true. Mistakes are how we grow. Babies grow by falling. You can grow by failing too. I want to tell you a story. It's about a student I once taught. His name was Luis. When Luis first joined my English class, he almost never spoke. He was smart. He could read and write. But every time I asked him a question, he froze. He looked down. He was scared to say the wrong thing. One day, I asked him privately, "Why don't you speak?" He said, "I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to sound stupid." That broke my heart, because Luis was not stupid. He just believed a lie, that you have to speak perfect English to speak at all. So I gave him a challenge. I said, "For 1 week, I want you to speak English every day, and I want you to make at least one mistake every time." At first, he looked confused. "Make a mistake on purpose?" I said, "Yes. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to practice." And guess what happened? Louis started speaking. At first, his sentences were broken. He mixed up tenses. He forgot words, but he smiled. He laughed at himself. He relaxed. And little by little, his English got better. Not because he studied harder, but because he stopped being afraid. By the end of the month, Luis was one of the most active students in class. He asked questions. He shared stories. He even helped other students who were nervous, just like he was. The truth is, once you stop seeing mistakes as something bad, they become your best teachers. Let's be honest. You will make mistakes when learning English. Everyone does. Even native speakers say the wrong word sometimes. The difference is, babies don't care. They just keep going. And that's exactly what you need to do. Here's a quick trick that might help. Whenever you make a mistake, smile. Say, "Oops, I'm learning." That one small change in your thinking can make a big difference. It turns failure into fun. It makes your brain relax. And when your brain is relaxed, it learns faster. There's also something powerful about speaking English out loud, even when it's not perfect. Speaking is not just about grammar, it's about confidence. When you speak, your brain learns to express itself. You become more natural. You build a real connection with the language. So from now on, don't hide from mistakes. Welcome them. Learn from them. Be proud of them. Every mistake means you are trying, and trying is how you grow. Remember, babies fall 100 times before they walk. You might say the wrong word 10 times before you get it right. But the moment you stop being afraid, everything changes. Chapter 3. Repetition, repetition, repetition. The power of doing things again. Have you ever noticed how babies don't get bored of hearing the same word again and again? Think about a baby learning the word mama. They hear it maybe 1,000 times, sometimes in the morning, at lunch, before bed. Where's mama? Say mama. Look, it's mama. And finally, one day, they say it, just one word. But that word means the world, and they remember it forever. Why? Because of repetition. Now I know what you might be thinking. Repetition is boring. But actually, repetition is how your brain learns best. It's not about saying something once and moving on. It's about hearing it, seeing it, saying it, again and again, until it becomes a part of you. Let's go back to the baby. A baby doesn't hear mama and stop to ask, what does that mean in grammar? Or, is that a noun or a verb? Number. The baby doesn't care about rules. They just listen again and again and again, and then one day they understand. Then they speak. That's natural learning. As adults, we often want to move fast. We think, I already learned that word. I need new words now. But the truth is, repeating small things often is more powerful than learning big things once. If you learn one word today and review it every day for the next 5 days, you will remember it. But if you learn 10 words today and don't look at them again, you'll forget them all. So how can you use repetition to learn English? Here are some simple, fun ways. First, repeat out loud. Yes, out loud. If you hear a new word like beautiful, don't just read it. Say it again and again. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It may feel silly, but your mouth needs to learn the word too. That's how babies learn. They babble, they copy, they try the sound again and again. Second, repeat in small moments during the day. For example, let's say you want to learn the phrase, "How are you?" You don't need to sit at a desk for hours. Just use it while brushing your teeth. Whisper it while walking. Say it to your reflection in the mirror. How are you? I'm good. How are you? It becomes natural because it becomes part of your daily life. Third, don't just repeat words, repeat sentences. Phrases help you learn grammar without thinking about grammar. For example, instead of just learning the word like, learn a full phrase. I like coffee. Repeat that. Then change it. I like tea. I like books. It's fun, and your brain starts to understand the pattern. Here's the most important thing. Repetition makes English automatic. You won't have to stop and think. You'll just speak. That's why babies learn so deeply. The words become part of them. Not because they study hard, but because they hear them a lot. Now let's talk about something many learners get wrong. A lot of people try to memorize long word lists, hundreds of words, maybe from a textbook. But here's the truth. Your brain doesn't like big lists. It likes strong connections. It's better to know 20 words very well than 200 words you forget next week. Repetition helps you build those strong, deep connections. Let me give you a real-life example. A student of mine, Hannah, used to make flashcards every day. She had hundreds of cards, but she told me, I forget most of them. So I asked her to choose just 5 words and repeat them every day for 1 week. She did it. Just 5 words. She wrote them on sticky notes, put them on her wall, and spoke them out loud every time she saw them. 1 week later, she knew those words like they were part of her body. She didn't have to think. She could use them in real sentences. She told me, now I feel more confident. All because she focused on a few words and repeated them. So, here's your big lesson for today. Repetition is not boring. It's smart. Babies use it. Musicians use it. Athletes use it. And now, you can use it too. You don't need long study hours. You just need small, repeated actions. That's how your brain remembers. Chapter 4. Using all 5 senses. Why babies learn with their whole body. Have you ever seen a baby playing with a toy for the first time? They don't just look at it. They touch it. They shake it. They bang it on the floor. They even try to taste it. That's because babies don't learn with just one sense. They use all 5 senses: touch, sight, sound, taste, and smell. This is called multisensory learning, and it's one of the biggest reasons why babies remember so much, so quickly. Now think about how most adults try to learn English. They sit at a desk. They read a book. Maybe they write down some words. That's it. 1 or 2 senses, usually just the eyes and the hand. But your brain loves learning through many senses. The more senses you use, the deeper the memory becomes. That's how babies learn without even trying. And guess what? You can use the same idea to learn English in a fun, easy way. Let's try something right now. Think of the word apple. Easy word, right? Now let's learn it like a baby would. First, see it. Look at a picture of an apple. Not just any apple, your favorite kind. Maybe it's red and shiny. Maybe it's green and sour. Let your eyes connect the word apple to a real image. Next, hear it. Say the word out loud. Apple. Listen to the sound of it. Break it into 2 parts. Ap, peel. Say it slow. Say it fast. Hear the word and let it echo in your mind. Now touch it. If you have a real apple, pick it up. Feel the smooth skin, the cool surface, the weight in your hand. Even just imagining it helps your brain remember. Then, smell it. Apples have a fresh, sweet smell. That smell connects directly to your memory. That's why smells can bring back memories from years ago. Finally, taste it. Take a bite if you can. Feel the crunch. Taste the juice. Let the word apple become a full-body experience. Now tell me, do you think you'll forget the word apple anytime soon? Probably not, because you didn't just learn the word, you lived it. This is what babies do every day. They learn by exploring the world with their whole body. They don't study words. They experience them. You can do this with almost any English word. Let's try another example. The word cold. How can we use the 5 senses for this? Sight. Look at a picture of snow, ice, or someone wearing a jacket. Sound. Say cold out loud. Hear how the D at the end feels sharp and short. Touch. Put your hand in cold water or hold something from the freezer. That's cold. Smell. Cold has a smell too, like winter air or mint. Taste. Eat something cold like ice cream or a cold drink. Your tongue will feel it. Each sense gives you a new connection to the word. Your brain doesn't just remember, it feels. And when you feel something, it sticks. You don't need special tools or a classroom to do this. Just use your daily life. When you eat, think of the English word for what you're tasting. When you hear music, think about how the sound makes you feel in English. When you see colors, name them out loud. When you touch something rough or soft, try using English words to describe it. And don't forget gestures. Babies use their hands to communicate long before they can talk. You can use your hands too. Make a small motion for each word or phrase. For example, when you say sleep, pretend to close your eyes and rest your head. When you say run, move your hands like you're running. This helps your brain connect language with action, and that's a powerful way to learn. The truth is, the more fun you have, the more you learn. Learning English should not feel like hard work all the time. It can feel like play. Babies learn by playing, touching, tasting, and exploring. You can too. So next time you learn a new word, don't just write it down. Try to experience it. Say it, see it, feel it, act it out. Use your 5 senses like a baby, and your brain will thank you. Chapter 5. The Power of Environment. Why babies learn from what's around them. Let's take a moment and imagine a baby's world. What do they see every day? They see people talking. They hear voices all the time, at home, in the car, in the store. They hear songs, stories, laughter, even arguments. Everything around them is full of language. They're surrounded by it. They don't have to search for words. Words are everywhere. This is why babies learn so fast. Their environment is like a full-time teacher. Now, let's think about adults learning English. Many learners sit down for 1 hour with a textbook, then close it and go back to their regular life in their own language. English becomes something separate, but the brain doesn't work that way. It learns best when the language is part of your daily life, not just study time. So the big idea of this chapter is change your environment, and you'll change how fast you learn. You don't need to move to an English-speaking country. You don't need expensive courses. You just need to make your space, your home, your phone, your daily routine a little more English-friendly. Let me show you how. Start simple. One easy way is to label objects in your home. Write the English word for mirror, door, cup, phone, window, and stick them on those things. Every time you walk by, your brain sees the word and connects it to the object. Over time, you won't even need to think. It will just feel natural. Another powerful trick? Change your phone's language to English. It might feel strange at first, but it works. You already know where the settings are, right? So even if you don't understand every word, you'll figure it out. And you'll start to see English every time you check the time, open an app, or read a notification. That's hundreds of small learning moments every day, with no extra study time. You can also surround yourself with English sound. Listen to English music while you clean. Watch cartoons or simple shows with English audio. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. Your brain is still learning. Babies don't understand everything either, but they hear patterns. They hear rhythm, and slowly they start to understand. You will too. Here's another idea, and it might sound funny, but talk to yourself in English. Yes, talk to yourself. When you're making coffee, say, "I'm making coffee." When you look outside, say, "It's raining today." These small sentences help your brain switch into English. You don't need a perfect sentence. Just try. Nobody is watching, but your brain is listening. Now here's the top moment in this chapter. If you spend just 10 minutes a day in a rich English environment, seeing it, hearing it, saying it, that's more powerful than 1 hour of studying grammar rules from a book. Why? Because it's real. It's not just learning, it's living the language. That's how babies learn. They don't learn rules first. They just live with the language every day, and the brain does the rest. So don't wait for a perfect study plan. Just build a small English world around you. Every little piece helps. One label, one short video, one sentence spoken out loud. These are not small. They are powerful. Let me tell you about another student of mine, May. She lived in a small town and didn't know any native English speakers, but she changed her environment. She put English words on her wall. She followed English cooking videos. She even changed her shopping list to English. After a few months, she told me, "Now I think in English sometimes without trying." That's the power of the environment. So ask yourself, how can you bring more English into your space? What can you change today? You don't need to do everything. Just start small. Let English live with you. Chapter 6. Never stop asking questions. Becoming a student. Like a baby. Let's end with one of the most powerful habits a baby has. It's something so simple but so strong, it shapes their entire learning journey. Babies are always asking questions. Not always with words, of course, but with their eyes, their fingers, their little voices. What's that? Why is this moving? Who's that? Why? 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 They point. They look. They ask again. They don't stop. And that's why they learn so fast, because every question opens the door to more learning. Now think about adults learning English. Somewhere along the way, many of us stop asking. Maybe we're afraid of sounding silly. Maybe we think we're too old. Or maybe we think we should already know the answer. But babies don't care about that. They don't feel bad for not knowing. In fact, not knowing is why they're learning in the first place. If you want to learn English like a baby, then here's the secret. Never stop asking questions. Let's look at how this works. Imagine you see a sentence. I will go to the store tomorrow. You could just read it and move on. But what if you stopped and asked, why does this sentence use will? That one small question helps your brain understand future tense. It opens a window. It gives you a reason to keep exploring. Or maybe you hear someone say, Wednesday, and it sounds like Wednesday. And you ask, why is it pronounced like that? Another great question. It helps you learn about English sounds, spelling, and rhythm, and every answer adds to your language puzzle. Questions make learning active, not passive. Babies don't sit and wait for knowledge. They reach for it. They pull it closer. That's how you become a real student. Not by knowing everything, but by being curious about everything. So how can you bring this into your English learning? Here are some simple ways. When you see a new word, don't just copy it. Ask, where have I seen this before? When you hear a phrase, ask, can I use this in my own sentence? When you make a mistake, ask, why was that wrong? Not in a negative way, but like a detective trying to understand. Even if you don't get the answer right away, asking the question keeps your brain open. And an open brain is a learning brain. Another tip: talk to yourself like a baby would. Say things like, "What's this called in English?" Or, "Why do we say it that way?" Even better, keep a notebook of your English questions. You don't need to answer them all now. Just asking trains your brain to stay sharp, to keep growing. Let me tell you something important. You are not a slow learner. You are a new learner, just like a baby. And babies are not slow. They are smart because they never stop being curious. That's what makes them grow every single day. If you enjoyed learning how to think like a baby to learn faster, why not keep growing with us? Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and comment below with one baby habit you want to try this week. Maybe it's repeating words out loud, talking to yourself in English, or just asking more questions. Whatever it is, share it. And remember, it's never too late to learn like a child. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.